Hey, what's up, everybody? Terry and Trish from UVT Coaching. Trish, people were absolutely floored by our Big Kahuna orientation video that we decided to get on Zoom and do one for frequently asked questions, which, by the way, if you go to uvtcoaching.com, click on the FAQ page and you can kind of follow along. But we thought we would do a video kind of explaining what was not explained on the programs page and how, the big or baby kahuna works. Are you ready for this, Trish?
I'm ready.
All right. So what is going to be covered in each coaching session? That's number one. When you sign up for either the big or baby kahuna program, you'll be sent a welcome email. You'll be sent a PDF of the syllabus. You'll be sent a link to our student-only YouTube channel, which, by the way, is vogroupclasses.com, just to let you know what that is. This includes descriptions, by the way, of all topics covered in each session. It's kind of, Trish, that the PDF of the syllabus is kind of a checklist, so the student can actually keep track of the session, so they can check off the session when they're done with it, and then they know what's coming next and how many sessions they have left.
Yes, so please follow the checklist. It really helps both of us. It helps us keep track of what you've done already, and it helps you keep track of what you've done already. So yeah, at least you know what step to take next when you follow it. You don't have to follow it exactly, but we do recommend that you at least do the first several technique script analysis sessions first before diving into anything else.
Each of the sessions, how long are the one-on-one sessions? Depends on the coach you work with. Trish, yours are about 2 hours. No, I'm kidding.
I do tend to go over the 45.
I always tell people that typically they're between 45 minutes to an hour, but they really lean closer to an hour, especially with everything that we cover. And it kind of depends. Like, Trish, your marketing session is, well, now it's a 90-minute video, but then you have the follow-up session, which sometimes can go an hour, I believe, as well, correct?
The marketing follow-up, is that
correct? Yeah, the marketing.
Yeah. I mean, I try to keep it to about an hour, being that the video covers most everything. If you're prepared for that session, which after you watch the video, take some notes, or during the video, take some notes, come up with questions, and then we're gonna tackle those in the actual session. I have been trying to keep those at around an hour, just because the whole idea of me doing the video was to keep me from going an hour and a half for everybody. And that's what the 90-minute video is for. So yeah.
And I also want to make a note that the marketing video and session that Trish does so masterfully is only for big kahuna members. Yes. The baby kahuna is basically six script sessions and then the demo. So you don't get the home studio setup session with Jan, and you don't get what's that?
Four script analysis sessions with the baby kahuna, right? There's 6.
You're right. Yeah, the prep. I was counting the prep and then the actual demo session. So 6, six like all together. Correct. So, I mean, if you're kind of on the fence, if you're watching this video and you are a baby kahuna member, it's not like mandatory to do an upgrade to the big kahuna, but if you want the second demo and you want the website and you want Trish's amazing marketing session and video, and you want Jan to help you, set up your home studio, it honestly would be a good idea to upgrade to the big kahuna. It's like $1,000 difference. And I know it's a lot of money, but for what you get, for that extra grand it's a pretty good deal, honestly.
Just the demo, and it's just the one extra demo in itself is worth the $1,000. But you then on top of the extra demo, you get the website, which is also probably around $1,000 if you were to actually buy it, like have somebody else build it. Yeah. So we include that. We include 2 extra script analysis sessions and the marketing so it's a really great value. And if you don't have any experience before, like, we understand that if it's a financial issue, like we'll do what we can to make it work for you. But the baby kahuna is just generally not enough if you don't have any background in anything, performance or anything like that. Or if you've never done voiceover before, we don't recommend the baby kahuna. You generally want what you need.
Yeah, it's kind of, I always call it kind of an intermediate course for people that have had, enough experience where they can, do a few script sessions and then do the demo. So,
Mhm. One
just
demo is tough to get you started too. I mean, most of us started out with the commercial and the narration demos. Those are the two broadest kind of categories in voiceover. And it's really important, I think, to have both of those to show people when you're trying to get work later.
absolutely. Well, let's move down the list on the FAQ page. So, where and how do the coaching sessions take place? Well, coaching sessions will take place via Zoom. Trish and I are obviously doing this Zoom video. This is our preferred platform to do it on. So, before each session, this is really important now, your coach will contact you via email. Trish, sometimes it's 15 to 30 minutes prior to the session. I know we're all a little bit different, but
Mhm.
generally it's around that time where your coach will send you a Zoom link along with a script or two. If it's a script performance session, obviously we'll send you the content that we'll be working with you on.
Mhm.
But one thing to keep in mind, if you do not receive a link to the Zoom call or scripts, and it's like a minute prior to the session, and you're like, why the hell haven't I heard from Terry, Garnett, Trish, Jan, Rob? Please check your spam folder, because sometimes Zoom links go straight to the promotional folder, especially you Gmail customers. Trish, this happens quite often. So make sure you check those spam folders. And if you still don't see anything, always contact the coach that you're working
Coach.
with. And we've got a staff directory when you sign up for our programs that you'll have access to all the coaches' phone numbers, email addresses, and social security numbers. No, I'm kidding about the last part, but very easy to get a hold of each and every one of us. So that is how that works. Trish, do you have anything to add to that particular FAQ?
Yeah, like, well, basically, yeah. And don't, the biggest thing I can say just from how many years we've been doing this is please like when we accept a request for an appointment through the calendar, there's a good chance that we know it's happening. You have to also, if you don't, like, if we only decide to send that email 15 to 30 minutes before, you have to have it on your calendar, and please make sure that you're there and that it's on your own calendar. Don't rely on us to remind you about the session.
Right.
Once you request the session and we accept it, we pretty much take that as gospel and that you will be there. So please mark it on your own calendars. If you're prone to forgetting stuff, please make some sort of reminder, because when you do get that email and it's only 30 minutes before the session and you forgot about it and you just happen to see it, it makes it a lot harder on everybody. So yeah, we just ask that mark it please on your calendar when we say it's okay. And we may not send some sort of confirmation. Other than that, the confirmation is if we accept the calendar or the request for the appointment. That's your indication that it's happening.
Absolutely. And we're really flexible. If you need to change dates and times, I mean,
Yeah.
we're about as flexible. Sometimes we have to do the same for you when our voiceover clients call and tell us they need a project finished by yesterday. We all have to deal with it. So we appreciate flexibility as well. All right. So
Yeah.
how do I book my coaching sessions? Well, we use the Square Calendar for our coaching appointments. We talked a little bit about this on the Big Kahuna orientation, and all those links are below that video. Plus, you have a link to our Square Calendar on the PDF of your syllabus. Like Trish basically just mentioned, all students are responsible for making their appointments with the coach. Now, after requesting an appointment, the coach will either confirm the time or sometimes even suggest changes. If something came up and, or we accidentally double booked or something happened, the coach will definitely get in contact with you. Once you receive confirmation, make sure you check any notes your coach may have included, because in the Square email, there's a little spot where the coach may have added some notes and they're really easy to miss. So make sure that you read the entire email. They might give you a homework assignment maybe, or some other anecdote to help you prepare for the session. We're all just a little bit different in how we use the notes in the Square calendar. And if you can't find a day or time that works with your schedule, contact me and we'll make arrangements, because we do occasionally work outside of normal business hours. Trish is the night owl of our staff, and she works a little bit later than like I do because I'm up at 5 a.m. I like doing early in the morning sessions, and I know Trish wouldn't be caught dead doing a 6 a.m. session.
It all works out. That's how it balances out. Guys do mornings, I'll take care of some evening stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. We're super flexible, and we'll work with you the best we can. Anything to touch on there, Trish?
No, we did. I think we need to go back one because we may have missed the question before is.
Oh, did I miss one? Oh, that happens. Mr. ADD here.
It's okay.
Yep.
That's why I'm here. May I contact my coach between scheduled sessions? And the general answer to that is, of course, yes, if you absolutely need something, or if there's, but generally try to at least either batch them. The biggest day, honestly, for us, and I think you'll agree with me, Terry, is Sundays. If you could please refrain from contacting us, especially a direct text message. If you're contacting us through Facebook Messenger, generally you won't hear back from us until the next business day if you do send it at night or Sunday. But if you could really refrain from just sending anything on a Sunday, I think it would be appreciated if you could just hold back until Monday morning at least. So
that would be great.
I mean, I don't know. We like to have our days off too, but we want to help you guys as much as possible. And we understand also that your off hours are our on hours and vice versa. But at least, and evenings are generally okay with me. It depends on what I'm doing and depending on how late we're talking, but generally you won't receive a response until at least the next day. But at least Sundays, if you could just refrain from messaging us at all, that would be nice.
All right. Well, let's skip down to what if I have to cancel a session. We touched on this a little bit. Can I reschedule it? Of course you can. We're very flexible, and you don't have to schedule your sessions, the same day and time every week too. I mean, if you're a little more practical, and some of our students they just like that same day and time every week, we are on board with that. You can cancel and submit a request to reschedule your coaching session if it doesn't work. But we're also really flexible, and we can, if you want to do a different day and time every week, we can certainly do that too. And cancellations are fine. I mean, we do appreciate 24 hours notice if you can, but I do know that, when you have sick kids or something, there's emergencies that happen. I mean, we're obviously very, very flexible. So how long? Go ahead, Trish.
I was going to say, if you need to reschedule and it's before the session time, you can, I mean, messaging us helps, but the other idea is just to go into the Square app and actually just reschedule it at that point. And remember that we get the notification when you request a session, when you change a session, anything that you do in the Square calendar, the coach is always notified anyway. We get notifications straight from Square. So if you need to reschedule, you don't necessarily need to hit us up first. Or if you schedule a session, you don't need to hit us up first in order to make that happen. So if you just want to go into the Square calendar and make that change, then that's totally fine with us because we'll know about it automatically anyway.
Excellent. So how long do the courses take to complete? This is kind of a general ballpark because it's really going to be different with everybody's skill set and how often you can really meet with us. I mean, we work with a lot of busy professionals that can't always meet with us every week. Generally, on average, we love to work with our students at least once a week. Sometimes it doesn't happen. I've worked with a lot of people who travel a lot and can't always get together. So they'll do like 2 in 1 week and then they can't do anything for a couple of weeks. So we're very flexible there too. But I would say, Trish, I know on the website, the Big Kahuna, it says 3 to 6 months, but it's really closer to the 6-month period, especially with setting up a demo session, going through your marketing video and going through that process, waiting for me to complete the demo productions, waiting for Mike or myself or Garnett to write the content for the demos. Some of that can be a little bit of a process. So I'm thinking it's closer to 6 months really than 3.
Yeah, yeah. And I don't know if we have kind of talked about this, but I would recommend at least having a week. Don't schedule your coaching, your actual script analysis sessions, the ones where you tackle technique.
Yeah.
I wouldn't schedule those closer than a week apart, because remember that you can't just rush through this and like learning it and having 2 sessions in 1 week. You're not even going to be able to really retain a lot of the things that you learn if you try to do it too fast. So I would space them out at least a week, 2 weeks at the most, I would say. Scheduling them out further out than that, you're almost is too slow, but I think that less than a week apart is going to be too fast. So about a week or 2 apart for each script analysis session is a good kind of thing, good kind of pacing to go by.
Yeah, and it's a good process because we want you to be as prepared as possible before we get to the demos. And suddenly somebody's requesting 4 sessions a week. You're going to forget a lot of valuable information. You're not going to get a chance to grow and improve your craft. So we've, after years and years of doing this now, we just believe that this is the best process as far as the scheduling. Now, the Baby Kahuna is a little bit closer to like the 4-month period because you don't have as many sessions. You're not doing as many demos. There isn't website design or Trisha's marketing video and session. So that's going to be a little bit quicker, more on the 4-month thing. And then we do have an option that we don't really talk about that much because it's not really super recommended unless somebody has, years and years and years of professional experience. But we have an option on our website called the Kahuna Junior. And that is basically a refresher. The Baby Kahuna, intermediate, right? Big Kahuna for beginners with little to no experience. And then the Kahuna Junior is really a refresher for people that have been successful voice actors for a long time, but they just want a new demo, or they want like a refresher, oh, my reads are getting a little raw. I feel like I need another set of ears to kind of steer me in the right direction, give me some feedback on technique and performance. And that's what the Kahuna Junior is. And that's a really quick program. But again, absolutely. In fact, we won't even let you sign up for it unless you have years and years of paid experience. If you have no experience, trust me, if you signed up for the Baby or the Big Kahuna, hopefully the Big Kahuna, that's always going to be the wisest choice if you don't have any experience. So that's kind of the timeline on those courses. Trish, do you have anything to add that I haven't mentioned?
No, I think you covered that one.
Okay, great. So let's talk about demo time. Well, how do I book my demo? Great question. Congratulations when it comes to the time to do your demo. At the end of the training program, your coach, me or Trish, or whoever you've been working with the most, will provide some guidance on the demo. Now, the preference would be to record in your home studio setup, but not everybody's going to be ready by the end of the curriculum. We mentioned this in the Big Kahuna orientation, and we will be more than happy to book you in an offsite studio. Sean Brackett, our web designer, is also our studio guy. So what he does is depending on where you live, he will do a zip code search for recording studios in your area. He'll call up the engineer, find out what kind of gear, make sure they're credible. Sometimes studios look great on the website, and then we send the talent, and it's just, somebody's garage with a banquet table with a USB mic sitting on it. So yes, that happened in Vegas once, believe it or not. So we're really particular and quite what's the word I'm looking for, Trish? We're very careful with making sure that the studio, we want it to be a really good experience for the talent, right? And we want it to be a fun and exciting experience. We want to make sure the gear is good. We want to make sure the engineers have worked with voice talents. There's a difference between engineering heavy metal music and engineering a voiceover session. So Sean will find out all that stuff. You don't have to do anything if we're recording this in an off-site studio. So go ahead, Trish.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can't, if you do know for whatever reason, and you're familiar with a couple of local studios and you want to pass those names along to Sean, then by all means, please do. It helps him kind of have a place to start with it.
Yeah.
But we otherwise we can take it, and Sean can take care of it.
And we did mention this in the Big Kahuna orientation. So some of this is repetitive, but that's okay, because sometimes we all need to go over it a couple times. But with once your demo session is booked, now this is if we book you in an offsite studio, don't do anything about scheduling the prep session until we have a date solidified with Sean. Once we actually have the demo session booked, then what we do is we ask you to book the prep session at least a day or two before the actual demo recording, because this will assure that you're good and fresh going into the demo session. If you're going to record from home, Trish, we're a little bit more laid back about that. But generally, we want to make sure that we have the demo session on the calendar, and then we want to, and we don't want to do a prep session like 3 weeks before the actual recording session. Think about it. It works just like a dress rehearsal the night before the opening, before the curtain opens, right? You have a dress rehearsal the night before. This works the same way when we book all of our demos. So it's really important that you're rehearsed and fresh just a day or two before that big demo day.
Yep. What
do I use for demo scripts? You have to write your own. No. Just kidding. Just kidding.
One of the services, one of the many services we provide.
Yeah, one of the biggest perks of our demos is we do write all original content for your demos. Mike Blakey is our commercial demo content writer. Garnet Williams will write character scripts, and yours truly will write the e-learning narration scripts. We will send you a content form to fill out. This is basically like a Google Doc form, just a few questions. And Mike will want to hear a couple samples of your voice. It's really easy to fill out. It takes like literally 5 minutes. And then once you hit submit, it goes right to Mike's email address. And this will be for commercial demo only. It'll make sense once you get on the form. But and then Mike will get in touch with you to begin the creative process. It does take anywhere from 3 to 4 weeks for him to complete the content. Again, this is a creative process, and this isn't a process that can be done overnight. We want to make sure that you have really rich content that works with your voice, your skill set, and we want the clips on your demo to book you work. That is the ultimate long-term goal. And then any follow-ups, if it feels like it's been that kind of 3 to 4 week time and you still don't have the scripts, feel free to follow up with Mike, and his email, his phone number, all his information is on the staff directory. And his information, Trish, is also on the Google Doc form.
Yeah, which is what you need to fill out in order to actually get that process started. So that's why we provide that in the description of that video, the other video. So make sure you fill out the website. If you are Big Kahuna, fill out the website form and the demo scripts form, because Mike doesn't start that process until you've filled that information out and sent it to him. So and also Sean with the regarding the website. So make sure you get those are your responsibility to kind of get going. We provide the links for you. Make sure you fill those contact forms out and send them in so we can get that process going. Because those are the kind of the two things that tend to take the longest processes, so get those going when you can.
Absolutely. So we talked about how to book the demo session. Now we want to talk about how does the demo recording session actually work? Well, whether you record from home or at an offsite studio, your coach is going to direct the session live via Zoom. Now, some studios have Phone Patch, some have Source Connect, other ways that they can patch us in to direct that session. Really, whatever the studio engineer is comfortable using. Hopefully it's Zoom. I mean, we're all very comfortable with Zoom, and most of the time it is. But definitely bring your scripts to the demo session. We've had people that have forgotten, and that's fine, but make sure that these are really important. And dress comfortably. Try to arrive a few minutes early. You definitely don't want to be late to a demo session because the engineer is actually going to need to take about 10 minutes or so just to set you up in the booth. If you're recording from home, obviously this isn't going to be relevant at all. But and then once the engineer has you all set up, and Trish, you and I have directed hundreds of demo sessions, then we call the coach, or the coach calls us to begin the session.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. And if you are traveling to a studio, I would say 15 to 20 minutes tops. Don't show up earlier than that. If you arrive earlier, please sit in your car until about 15 to 20 minutes before you're really the top of the hour or whatever time your session's supposed to be. Because if you show up too early, it could actually be worse. So
that's true. You
know.
don't want to be sitting around in the lobby. And I know sometimes it's a good idea to get there early just so you can kind of peruse through the scripts, but you can do that in your car too. And they don't care if you're there early, just not like an hour or so, you know.
Yeah.
And everybody likes to leave a little bit early when you're not really sure where the studio is at. So I totally get it.
And sometimes the engineers aren't there until 15 minutes before anyway. They're actually arriving at the studio to let you in.
Yep.
So keep in mind.
All right. Well, how long does it take for UVT to produce my demo? Well, we want your demo to be perfect, obviously. And after I receive the files, I'm the demo producer for the UVT coaching team. So everything comes to me. The production process usually takes about 3 to 4 weeks. It really depends on what kind of demo it is, too. Character demos are always going to take a little bit longer, more closer to that 4-week period. I can usually get the commercial one done maybe like 2 to 3 weeks. You know, our motto has always been, Trish, is that quality can't be rushed. You know, again, it's a creative process, just like when Mike writes the content for the demos, it's a creative process. You know, an artist doing a painting, you're not going to hurry that artist to get the painting done. You know, it's a creative process. And while you're waiting, which even yours truly forgets that we have this wonderful handout called a what to do checklist, Trish. There's actually a link to it on the website, and I need to put that in one of the other YouTube videos too. But this is just basically what to use your time for while you're waiting for your demo. And there's a lot of really good information there.
Yep. It's definitely, well, we give you plenty to do while you're waiting for the demo to come back. So you shouldn't be sitting twiddling your thumbs waiting for it. There's lots to do in the meantime that we can help with too.
Yep. And this is important too, Trish. You know, okay, I've completed all the coaching sessions in my program, but my coach doesn't think I'm ready to do the demo. Now what? And it is possible that you may not be ready before, you know, when the curriculum is over. We always say quality can't be rushed, and we want your demo to sound fabulous. So, you know, if we don't think you're ready, we're going to definitely recommend more coaching. It's, you know, we're very transparent in our feedback to our students, and we want to make sure that you have the best demo possible, because your success reflects our success. And selfishly, Trish, we want them to say good things about us. But priority number one is for you to book work. And if we feel like you're not quite there yet, we definitely will recommend some additional coaching. Trish, do you want to add to that?
Yeah, actually. So, and that's something that we only do with the Big Kahuna, which is also another kind of advantage. That the thing with it, you know, we do, if we find that after 6 script analysis sessions that you're not quite ready, we have been known to add a few extra for no charge. Unfortunately, we can't really offer that with the price points that we have at the smaller packages. And if we do, if you have prior experience, you shouldn't need more than two, or the two that's with the Kahuna Junior and the four that's with the baby Kahuna. The script analysis I'm talking about sessions, those are about preparing you for the demo. And so you should, and that's another reason why you should only be signing up for those smaller packages when you already have the experience. But if one of the advantages of getting the big Kahuna is, yes, we're able to kind of add a little extra in if that's what we feel that you need, and you feel that you need at the end.
Well said. So when do you start working on my website? We covered that just a little bit. It all, once Sean actually has the form. So we have demo content forms. This is all done by way of Google Docs. And then we have a website form that we will send you as well. In fact, that is in the description area under the Big Kahuna orientation video on the private YouTube channel, which again can be found at vogroupclasses.com. Once he has the form, then he can start laying out kind of a template that he will show you. And Sean is really good about working back and forth with the student on the website. And one thing to keep in mind is the website is only for Big Kahuna members, and that includes website design and creation. This does not include domains and hosting plans. You will have to pay for that separately. It's just like, we all have to buy our car, right? And then we have to pay for a parking spot every month. When I worked for corporate radio, I had to pay for my parking spot. That's basically what it is with websites. You have to pay for the parking spot, aka hosting. So that fee will be separately, but Sean can kind of talk to you about that on what the most cost efficient plan is with the different programs that he works with, and he will absolutely help walk you through that process when the time comes.
Yeah, I do know something to add to that. I do know that he uses Wix to build your website. So if you do feel like you need to purchase something beforehand, a domain, even just the domain, do it through Wix so that it's an easier process once you have Sean get everything done. Because if you have some sort of other domain or hosting website, it makes the transition a little bit more difficult. So if at all possible, get Wix.
And the good news too is once the website is complete, he will give you the keys. You can actually go in there and make changes, or he'll give you full access. So it's not like you have to keep bothering Sean for changes. I mean, if you're not web savvy, which I'm really not, he'll be happy to make any changes that you suggest. But he does give you the keys, and you'll have full access once the website is completed. Do you offer payment plans? This is going to be a little bit different than what is listed on the website. Tuition is preferred up front, but we do offer payment plans because we now have the Affirm option. This is a buy now, pay later program. I've used it on Amazon a couple of times, and it works really, really well. They don't do any hard credit pulls. If you do a payment plan, it doesn't show up on your credit report. They do what we call a soft peek at your score just to determine what your interest rate's going to be. That's the only bummer, Trish, is that you are going to pay some interest if you have to break the tuition up into monthly installments, but at least the option is there. And that Affirm option is on all of our invoices. So you'll have a chance to kind of break the fee up into several installments. So we're pretty flexible that way. You don't always have to pay. I mean, if you want to avoid the interest fees, it would be a good idea to pay upfront. And many of you already have, because if you're in our program, you're watching this video, but it's a good idea to go through all of this anyway.
Sure. Yeah, I think Affirm there's definitely some good options there, but I believe I would be surprised, and I don't know this for sure, but I would be surprised if they didn't accept, like if you wanted to pay it off early, let's say they wanted to, split it up into 6 months or a year worth of payments, and you want to pay it off earlier, you can. I think it works like a credit card.
Yeah. You basically the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So you can pay it off early if you want to, but they make it a little more manageable if you do want to split the payments up a little bit more.
It's a nice option. And the really the only difference between a firm and a credit card is credit card stuff shows up on your credit report. Anything you do through a firm does not show up on a credit report. So if you're worried about hard inquiries, I know when we bought our house, it's like, how many more hard inquiries are going to show up on my credit report? But it doesn't. It's a soft pull. They just peek at your score. And obviously, just like a credit card, the better your score, the better your interest rates are going to be. So that all works the same. But again, it's a flexible option if you don't have the tuition up front. All right, I have my demo. Now what? All right, you've had the basic training. You've got the website. You're the proud owner of a fabulous demo or two. It really should be two with the Big Kahuna. It is. But make sure you don't kind of just let it sit on your computer. Now is the time to really market yourself, submit to talent agencies, production companies. Trish talks a lot about this in her marketing video and sessions, so I don't need to talk a lot about it here. But now is basically the time to apply everything you learned from all of your sessions and launch your new business. And remember, we are mentors. This program works, especially the Big Kahuna, really works more like a mentorship. And we're here to help you through the process. We're not going to vanish on an island somewhere just because the program is over. We want to help you do everything we can on our end to make sure you have the best chance to go out there and achieve something incredible.
Yeah.
And then Trish, we're down to our last one already. I'm sad. I wanted this to go on for hours.
Oh, I'm sure everybody did.
I know, it's like, would you two shut up already? All right, the last one. Do you offer ongoing coaching after demo production or for the working voice actor? Absolutely. In fact, it's highly recommended. Trish, you and I still get coaching, and we coach. That doesn't mean that we don't get sloppy with our reads or we don't get lazy with our marketing. I mean, everybody goes through that cycle of where they kind of need a good kick in the rear. And, that's why coaches get coaching. Additional coaching sessions are always available and can be purchased individually. Or sometimes we do a bundle or a package deal or whatever. We're flexible that way, but it's always highly recommended for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. Yeah. I still get coaching handful of times a year, on my commercial reads mostly, but it is good to be very aware of trends and things change and just to kind of keep up and, just brush up on various things. It is really good. And so, we provide that and, you can always hit us up and see what we have in the latest offers in that, whether it be a small batch of sessions or just one, we always have something going on.
Yeah, definitely. Always something new and fresh. And Trish, I think that's about it. By the way, I'm just realizing this now. I have not updated my email address on the FAQ page. It still has the voiceover training info one. Don't click on that one. Just go to terry@uvtcoaching.com. Actually, by the time you see this video, I'm sure I will have fixed it already. So I'm wasting everybody's time by even talking about this. But that is the email that you should bookmark, terry@uvtcoaching, for all things training related. But of course, all the coaches' emails and phone numbers are listed on the staff directory, which you should now have a copy of that PDF as well. Trish, I think that's it. I appreciate you getting together and doing a fun little video to kind of help navigate people through the site.
Yeah, I think this was great. And of course, if you guys have more questions, and feel free to either check, maybe this is, the video we may add stuff to the FAQ before we get a chance to add it to the video. So always check the FAQ if maybe, to see if it's covered. Look at Voiceover Camp. And of course, as you can always message us to ask, but stay involved and we'll get you there.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And I think that's it. All right, Trish, thank you. And thank you all for being a part of the UVT coaching team. We appreciate you putting your trust in us. And we're just having a great time working with each and every one of you. And cheers to a successful and prosperous 2023. Trish, I wish I had a drink in my hand. I don't. It is like 4 o'clock. So I don't know.
My mouth
Nice.
like bigger
Nice.
than me.
Oh, yeah, I like that. All right. Thank you, everybody. We appreciate it. Take care.
All right.